Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Hope everyone had a nice Christmas day. It came and went really quickly, didn't it? I do apologise. I seem to have come down with something else, and today's probably going to consist of lots of coughing and spluttering. So I'll try and switch the mic off quickly if it comes. It tends to come in bursts. But I've literally just got rid of a cold, and now I've got something else. So sorry if my voice gets a bit annoying today, but I'll try my best to switch the mic off in between episodes, and I hope it doesn't annoy anybody. So, morning what? Morning, let's have a look. Abia, good morning, mate. Abia, I think you're a new face. Welcome. Morning, Leaders, and morning, Sam. Morning, Nicholas. Merry Christmas, mate. Merry Christmas to everyone, yeah. It came and went really quickly. It tends to do that every year, doesn't it? It's a bit of an anticlimax, really. It's like one big hype of panic and money, and then within a day, it's probably seems like the quickest day of the year. It tends to come and go really quickly. So, but I spent most of yesterday in bed and some of this morning in bed, so I'm trying to dose myself up to get myself. I suppose the good thing about trading is you can do it from home. You haven't got to worry about going out and the cold. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it should go okay. So, who else we got there? Scruffy, morning, mate. How we doing? Afternoon. Randwolf, I like that. Happy holidays. Where are you from, brother? You're a new face. Always like to know where people are from. I'm kind of hoping it's somewhere warmer than where I'm at the moment. So, as most of you know, Apex have done another deal, 90% off. I've got a code up here if you're interested. Now, the only reason I put this on is because it doesn't cost you anything more. As I've said before, I'm not interested in charging anybody, or anything for trading, because I'm just like you guys. I'm just a guy who's been doing it, a couple of years, and I've had my ups and downs, and I decided to stream, and it's absolutely helped mine. So the reason I put it there is purely and simply, it doesn't cost you anything. And I get a small kickback from it, so it's there if you want it. Otherwise, don't worry about it. But ultimately, whether you get it from me or anybody else, if you're in the market for one, then get yourself one while they're cheap. Who else we got in here? Mike. Morning, Mike. Accountability King. Morning, mate. Techno King. Morning, wishing you well. Thank you very much. Brant, how you doing, buddy? I made a mistake getting my computer at 8:30. Now I'm bored. Well, to be fair, I've dropped a green arrow here. I did look at that. I thought it might, we might have this channel down. The two things that put me off is we'd been in a bit of a range here, so I thought, is it breaking out and is it going to tick below and come back in? And just the fact that it's a 4.5 point bar, so with a tick above, tick below, it's 5 points. I thought it was a bit of risk, but I did drop a limit order in about here, but it didn't quite get it. But hindsight is a wonderful thing in it, and then as soon as we get that one, boom, straight down. So that would have been nice, but okay, it happens. It's not worth worrying about it. Julian, good morning. So yeah, I hope everyone had a nice Christmas day. I have heard that some of you guys in the US have been suffering with some appalling weather. I've heard things minus, let me just take a drink, minus 50, something like that. So, hold on a sec. Trying to drink plenty to keep my throat coated so it doesn't dry up. So if any of you guys are in that area that's been affected, I'm wishing you all the best. Make sure you stay safe and stay in. Keep yourself warm and do whatever you can. So, fortunately, we don't have weather anywhere near that. So that sounds pretty unique. So best wishes to any of you guys who are anywhere near that bad weather. I mean, we all like a sprinkling of snow from time to time, but minus 50 is just that's a little bit too steep, isn't it? So. Stay safe wherever you are if any of you guys are out there. So, what is likely to happen today? So, there's actually been a little bit more volume than I thought. I'm trying to remember back to last year. Grol Daddy, morning. Try and remember back to last Christmas. I just can't remember what the volume was like after. I think it was a bit lower, but I can't remember. Morning, Luca. How you doing, buddy? But I did, put a couple of posts out on some of the Facebook groups, and most people said they were trading. I know Daryl Martin said he was trading, so if he thinks it's worthwhile, then I think it's definitely worth a go. I'm not working now till Friday, so I'm just sat here coughing and spluttering and bored, so I might as well get here and try and make a bit of money. Roger, morning from Florida. You're a new face. Welcome, Roger, Florida. So I'm guessing that's going to be quite a bit warmer than we are in the UK. I think we're about 9 degrees here. It's pretty miserable outside. So welcome, Roger. Jacko, how you doing, buddy? You sound different. Yeah, I've got a cold. Well, to be fair, I had a bit of one that was just trying to get rid of it, but the last couple of days I seem to be having, a tight wheezy chest. And I don't know, but I'll live. I'll manage. We're a tough breed here in the UK. Although I may be coughing like a girl sometimes, but it's not going to stop me from trading. Worse ways to earn a living, isn't there? So, Rhodian, good morning. Dream Traders, morning. Accountability King, is there a SE short? Setting up SE short. Risky going short. 1 too far from the EMA, 2. This is where we open, so you just don't know whether we're going to a bit of a range. But it's respecting this line a little bit down the bottom, isn't it? So a short, I think, is a bit risky. Now, I've heard one or two. Morning, Philip. I've heard 1 or 2 rumours about Russia and Ukraine. I think Russia have offered them some sort of a deal where they give up some of their territories or something like that, or they, I don't know what it is. I haven't looked too much into it. But it seems like there's a possibility we could at least maybe get towards some form of an agreement where, things stop and loss of life calms down a little bit, because it's going to be horrendous for the Ukrainians over there. Not that you should give in to Russia at all, really. You shouldn't give in to anybody, really, but I've just heard rumours that may happen, so whether that will affect the markets, I don't know. Whether we'll get a bit of a boost. I do wonder that we got that little bit of a push-up, so I'm not too sure whether that'll affect anything, so we shall see. Grant Fox, good morning. So you funded with Apex? I certainly am. I did an evaluation. It's all, if you go onto my YouTube channel and look, all the videos are there from day 1 to day 7. For the evaluation, and now this is day 9 for the PA account. So where are we? Julian, my chart does not like yours, mate. If I had a penny for every time I heard that, I'd be a rich man. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I have reloaded my historical data already, but it often does. It's not an issue. It's not a worry. You just trade your chart as you see it. You see a good setup, and then you sort of make your decisions. So don't worry about it. That's often the way. It just happens. So don't worry. Don't worry. Sometimes you might get a great setup, and I won't. So I don't know. Let's get rid of that a minute. Who else we got in here? Let's have a look. Randolph, trading from Colorado. Currently 40 degrees, 4.7. Yeah, getting warmer here. I know some places in the US have had it horrendous, haven't they, at the moment? Bill, morning. First time here. Welcome, Bill. Ontario, Canada. We're getting quite a few people in from Canada. Welcome, Bill. Jacko, he's saying welcome, Bill, as well. Yeah, everyone's friendly here. They're a nice bunch. Blah, 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 blah. Let's have a look. Kim. Hey, Kim, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, brother. I don't know what else to say. What's happened? I did actually. Has anybody heard about this 30% rule or 20% rule with Apex? Heard something about it. So a couple of people mentioned about it. So I don't know too much about it. I don't know whether it's something that's been newly introduced, but I did put a post on the Apex official site earlier. And I just put, I'd heard about this rule. I'm trading on a PA account, and I put down my daily amounts over the 8 days. And I said, does this look like it may affect anything? And there was a couple of comments. One guy said, he went, no, I don't think it's a problem. And someone asked me where I trade, and I said I trade PATs, not the sniper system. And then all of a sudden, I got cut off. So they've cut me out the Apex official Facebook group. I don't quite know why, because they posted the I thought it was it was a genuine post. I posted the question, and it got okayed, and then as soon as the guy asked me the question, so whether they're, because I mentioned I'm doing PATs, and whether they sort of promote the sniper system, whether they got the hump and ditch me, but I don't quite know. So I might look into that, because I've only ever been anything but pleasant in there. I wish Daryl Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all this. I always put nice comments. I always plug Apex. As far as I'm concerned, they're the best they are. So it's a bit frustrating sometimes, when you keep things nice and friendly, and then sometimes they just cut you off. So I might look into that later. I don't know why. Let's have a look. Brand. As long as you trade your plan, you're fine. Yeah, that's the sort of gist I got of it. They approve some people's withdrawals. I've had over 30% days because got caught wrong. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could start with a loss, do a couple of wins, and you've got a small amount. Like the other day, I had that one short, which was a good trade, and then there was a lower high, so I took that one. Naturally, it would, and obviously I run the two and got $1,000 out of it. So sometimes, sometimes you get good days, but that's part of trading, isn't it? You're never going to get the consistent same amount every day. You're going to have good days, and you're going to have okay days, and you're going to have quite poor days. So, Kiddo, you're a new face. Welcome. What would you say your win rate is with PATs? That's a good question, actually. I haven't really noted it. Oh God, I would say somewhere in the region of maybe 85%, something like that. I'm not too sure. Now, I go for minimum 1-to-1, so that may affect it a little bit, but based on the trades I take, it doesn't seem to affect it much. So I would say somewhere, I guess, 85%. Maybe a bit less, it might be a bit more, I'm not too sure, but what I might do is start noting it, actually. The sniper system, it's just Apex's own system, Daryl Martin's own system that he's set up. It's not that I... Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that, coughing spell. It's not that I chose PATs over the sniper system, it's just I didn't know anything about the sniper system, and I got involved with PATs sort of 18 months ago. I knew nothing about the sniper system, but it's just their own system, But, every different type of system, and, they've all got their merits, and then it depends what you start with. If my philosophy is, if you start with something and it works, stick with it and try and master it. So, but yeah, it's just their own system. So maybe because I put, I trade PATs, and they thought, we don't want anybody promoting PATs. Not that I was. So, but, I get them kicking off the comment, but actually banning me or removing me from the group, I don't know. I don't know what that was about, but let's have a look. Just means flat, yeah. Yeah, that's straight from Daryl's mouth. Yeah, I think they're just generally after people who are trying to swing the lead a little bit, aren't they? Mike, I'm in the minority, I guess, but I don't understand the appeal of these funded trading programs. Once you break even or profitable, that is, I kind of understand. Okay, I'll tell you my take on the funded accounts. When you're learning to trade, you need obviously some basic skills. That's where the demo comes into it. So you want to spend some time on a demo, and I recommend at least 6 months, maybe a bit more on a demo. Now, the by far the hardest part of trading is to be able to learn is the psychological side, because it does mess with your head. I mean, the unfortunate thing about trading is you will sustain losses. It's part and parcel of it. You can't argue with that. So to get the psychological side of it, to be able to learn to deal with that, you have to have a risk. There's no other way of getting those feelings. So there's obviously there's the option of putting your own money in. Now, I don't recommend that unless you may stick a couple of $100 in Ninja Trader and then just do the micros, because you'll be amazed how quick you will waste money and throw money away. Now, the reason I like the prop firms is because you can get, I mean, they've got a 90% deal at the moment, so it works out, what is it, about $25 or something to do an evaluation. And you can take your time and play around with that. You don't have to try and pass it, but just play around with it for a month. But what it does is it gives you that feeling of what it's like to have risk. So that's why I tend to choose them, because if I was putting my own money in, I'd have wasted so much more of it. I did waste a chunk anyway, and I quickly realised I don't like the feeling of throwing my own money. So that's the beauty of an evaluation. But if you're thinking about it, what I'd say is go onto YouTube and just search a bunch of YouTube videos about it, and you'll get a bigger picture maybe. But it is part of it. You've got to get that exposure to the feelings of the psychological side of it. Otherwise, you're just never going to make any money. So where are we? Let's have a look. Oh no, I guess that's a bit. Yeah. Okay. So Mike, yeah. So it's just better than using your own money. It's just a cheaper option to learn to deal with that psychological side. Techno King, I don't get it either. Just basically what I said. It's a cheaper option. Because, a lot of people might have the skills to trade, but not the money. See, so far I've had 8 days, profitable days, all green, and I had 7 days on an evaluation. So you could say, based on what I've done, I've got enough skills to make some money, but I haven't got a lot of funds to put into it. Whereas I've got the option now to use their money, and so far I'm up $3,600. So, in a couple of weeks or a month, I can look to make some money out of that, and I haven't really used any of my own capital. So that's really what I'm trying to get at. So it gives you the option to use your skills without, having a chunk of money to invest yourself. Because I would say I would be really careful putting your own money in. Because you ask anybody who's been trading maybe 12 months and more, and they'll have all lost money. It just comes with the territory. Absolutely paper trade to learn the system. Absolutely. And I would say do it at least 6 months, maybe even 12 months. It depends how much time you've got to put into it. I mean, if you've only got a couple of hours a week, it's going to take you a bit longer, but get to the stage where you're winning consistent trades, and you get a good understanding of what you think is going to happen, and then maybe start to have a go with a funded company, or use a bit of your own money. Just put a couple of $100 in and trade one micro. But the idea is just to try and make some consistent money, and learning to deal with the psychological side, and that will give you a better picture of where you are, and whether it's time to move on to the next level maybe. Excuse me if I'm sniffing away, and I do apologise, but Let's have a look. Let's say you're profitable. What's the tax system on withdrawals? Okay, now I'm speaking purely from the UK. And if you're from the US, then it's like, excuse me a minute. Sorry. Where was I? Yeah, I think a lot of you guys are US based, so your system, I'm guessing, is very similar to ours. Now, I've spent $1,000 on Ninja Trader. I spent $1,500 or pounds, sorry, on my computer setup, my desk. I've spent maybe, I don't know, you could, let's say for argument's sake, $5,000 on Apex funded accounts, blow-in funded accounts. I maybe spent X amount of money on courses. All that money is the money you're investing into learning to trade. So I know from the UK, and I'm pretty sure it's the same from the US, that will come out of any money that you earn. So if I've invested $10,000 into it, for, you know, all the money I put into trading, I won't pay any tax on that first $10,000, and then any other money that you earn from then on will be taxed accordingly, with your own sort of country's tax rules. So that's basically how it works in the UK. So I know when I take my first $2,000, which is about 1,650 UK pounds, I'm not going to be paying any tax on that until I've got my initial £10,000 investment. So that's basically how it works, and you're just classed as a contractor. So it's no more complicated than that. I think it's pretty straightforward. I understand anyway, but I suppose, you know, some new people may not so much. So I hope that helps. Let's have a look at Let's have a look at Apex. Same as normal tax bracket. Yeah. It's just be like you starting a small business. But the beauty about being a trader is well, let's say for instance, I don't know, you're a bricklayer. Your overheads are going to be a van, tools, clothing, and all that sort of stuff, insurances, whereas your overheads as a trader are going to be your computer equipment, the courses you've invested, the money that you invested into all the Apex evaluations and so on. So it just gets deducted out of your profit, and you won't pay tax on that invested amount. So that's more or less how it works. So it's taxes regulated. Yeah, absolutely. You're just a single sort of trader, aren't you? Just a normal guy. You're just a one-man band. You know, if you go around cleaning windows with a ladder, it's exactly the same. Your investment into it is your ladder and your cleaning equipment, and it's exactly the same with trading. Any money that you've put into trading, from courses, from books, you know, if anything you've bought or invested, including money you've lost, is basically your tools of the trade, and that comes off any money that you earn. Some firms learn to trade, I believe, for all the same actual trade that you get benefits. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this. The firms that pay us. Yeah, see, it's probably going to be easy for you guys. There's more information out there directed to US traders because there's more of you, purely and simply. Many algo traders, not sure about that one. Mike. Yeah, 1910, yeah, okay. Yeah, Brunt, yeah, absolutely. Beginners user platforms, it's easy, it's cheaper. You get a better experience, I think. So look, I took that second entry short. Did you, lad? Which one here? One of these, is it? Bump on that one there. Let's have a look. Who took that one? Ahmed. It was off the trend. Yeah. The only thing with trades like that, you got to be careful because they're so far from the EMA, so they could. Usually, when something breaks, depending on how strong the pressure is, in this case, how strong the pressure is, sometimes, in a lot of cases, it does tend to come right up to the EMA. Sometimes it'll push through it and come back. Sometimes it'll go through it and come back. And sometimes it'll get close. But the trouble is, although it is a second entry, I personally wouldn't have took that because it's so far away and it's a bit risky. But I suppose it depends. If you go in for minimum 1-to-1, you've only got to get them right, 55% of the time, haven't you, to make money? So, but if you're scalping that for a point, I'd say it's a risky trade just for the sake of a point. But it's a winning trade anyway, so that's like Philip. It's here someone who took back second. Is here someone who took second entry short lower high? Not sure about that one, mate. Brant, 2.5. Yeah, Brant, yeah. It is really. I mean, you would expect that to. What I'm guessing is going to happen. This is probably, if I look the way that's touching and that isn't, it's more likely going to be something like that. Excuse me a second while I cough my guts up. Sorry about that. I think I've just coughed up a lung. I've got another one. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's probably going to be something like that, I would say. Let's have a look. So I thought we may get, with this news about Russia and Ukraine, I thought we may get a little bit of a positive day, but perhaps people think there's no way Zelensky's going to give in to giving away some of his land, and to be fair, he shouldn't be, because you shouldn't get bullied into that. So let's have a look. Skipped it for, yeah, 2.5 in the EMA, very risky. Morning, Israel. How you doing, brother? Patience is the name of the game, absolutely. And it really is. And I've been guilty of lack of patience for a long, long time. But, you know, one thing I've learned the hard way is that there's no other way to do it. You know, you just have to wait for those trades. And sometimes, you know, I sat here for about 6 hours once about a year ago, and I took one trade right at the end of the day. But that's what you've got to do. That's where I think the skill of the trader comes in, to be able to know when there's no good setups and the market's messy, and to stay out. You know, just sit and carefully watch. And I suppose in a way it's like being a sniper, isn't it? I mean, I know a lot of you US guys, you're sort of big on your hunting. You don't go in there guns blazing, do you? You sort of pick a spot and wait for something to come to you, and then you take aim and you wait for that right time, don't you? And then you pull the trigger. And it's the same sort of thing with trading. You've got to wait for those good setups. And I've really struggled in the past, but, you know, fortunately, I seem to be on the right road at the moment. So, you know, that's ultimately what you want to try and get to. But patience is absolutely the key. Patience and waiting for a good setup. If you've got those two things, you'll make a fortune. Let's have a look. Sit on your hands. Absolutely. It's a good way of warming your hands up. Mike, any Sierra chart peeps here? Ooh, not sure about that one. I've used it. Okay. Sierra charts. I've heard of Sierra charts. I don't know. See, I suppose it's what you start with initially, isn't it? Some people start on something, and that's what they tend to stick to. I didn't pick futures just because I decided to pick futures. I just happened to see a guy trading futures, and I liked the look of what he was doing. That's why I sort of started trading futures. I started with currency 2 years ago. But the thing was with currency, it was just multiple screens, multiple currency pairs, multiple types. I seem to have screens and little boxes everywhere. But when I saw this being traded, I thought I liked the sound of that, you know. One screen, one chart, one time frame. Happy days. So I'm literally about a trade away from $4,000, and my plan was to get to about $7,000 and then take a $2,000 payment, which will give me 5 left. And the reason I want to take a payment as soon as I can, because most of you know now, I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. If I can get a payment of $2,000, that will then enable me to give up Friday and Monday, so just work Saturday, Sunday, so I'll be able to trade full time. Because based on what I've earned there, my average is around about $440, I think I worked it out. So I earn more doing this than I do in my day job, so nearly double actually. So it's certainly worth while me trading 5 days a week. So that's the plan. So whether that'll happen for the next payday or not, which is, I believe, around about the 15th of January, or whether it'll be at the end of January, I don't know. Okay, so there is a possible second entry short setting up. So this looks like a break to me, because we're going sideways, and whenever we go sideways lately, we do, when we seem to snug up to there, it tends to go down. So I'm going to, there was a trade the other day that a lot of us saw. I ummed and ahed about it, and when it did go, it went that bloody fast. Didn't get a chance to get in on it. So if this goes a little bit more sideways and this comes down and they meet nicely with a lovely bar, then I might go short. So let's have a look. You've got a skill. Thank you, Jack. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. I'd like this to break above there if I could, but it is a second entry, that, so I'm going to get an order ready. And I've got a feeling this is going to come careering down, so this might necessarily not have to go up to the EMA. The EMA may come down to it. It just depends how long. I just hope that doesn't come down here just yet. I want it to hang around where it is. I was hoping it'd go up a little higher. But it could go up a bit higher than this. As long as that doesn't tick below here, that's still a second entry short. See what happens. I don't like them when they get full bars right next to each other like that. So I like that to work a bit higher. Go on, get your ass up there a bit. Go on, push, push, push. That's okay, actually, I don't mind that. If that goes up a bit higher and finishes right. Trouble is, you've got to be careful of these because they can come down so damn quick. So we have had this sideways movement and we've broken out of it, haven't we? So now I might take this on the engulfing, which is here. Let's see what happens. No, that's a bit risky, that is. It's likely going to come careering down, but I just don't like that bar. Now I'm guessing that may look a lot better on someone else's chart, so you might get a good run here, but do you know, the thing that's making me slightly nervous is if I look on the 10,000 tick chart, we've had quite a push away from the EMA here. So when you see that, you would expect it to go back. So part of me is thinking it's going to come down, and by looking at that, I'm thinking maybe it might go up. Let's have a look. Let's have an overall look here. Okay, no. I'm still looking for short here. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm liking the look of that one. I just hope it doesn't come down too quick. I am going to take that one if it finishes right. I know it's 13 ticks, but let's have a look. No, that's going to happen, is it? No, doesn't want anything of it. Okay, so I think that may go a bit higher. I think we may have a bit of a push up with that, so let's get rid of that for a minute. So that, as it is now, I'll tell you what, that's first entry trying to go on, so that's a failure, it's triggered, so you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to put an order under here. I'm just wondering whether there's going to be some longs trapped there. See where it goes. I think It's a failure and it's triggered. Now it'll either go up and get them the points for the longs, or it'll come down. If it triggers below here, okay, I kind of like that. No, it's not going to let me. That's. I'm going to give that an extra tick. I like the trade. It's a little bit more risky, I think, but if we can break below here, I think we need a strong push down. Come on, if we can get below here, I think we're good. I'm going to take that down a bit lower. Does seem to be going a bit sideways, doesn't it? If we can get below here, then I think we're okay. And it looks like we might. I like where the trade is. Come on, a little bit lower. One more tick lower. Come on, baby. Come on, girly. If we get one more tick lower, then I think we'll come down a bit quicker. Okay, I'm a little bit more confident now. Okay. I did give it an extra tick just in case. Now it's quite a lot of downward movement now, so I might even take mine down here and follow it down. Let's have a look. There's quite a lot of downward pressure. Let's have a look on the. Okay, I think you can certainly go a lot lower. If we can get a lower high, I may even short that. Let's see. Just wondering whether there's going to be some shorts there as well. Sorry, some longs there. So we've come at big push down, haven't we? Some may say if they've got the channel drawn a bit different, that might be a break. 2 legs down to a new low. It's a big bearish bar there, so that may hold some long trades in there. So if we can get below here, we may have it even more pushed down. So I'm going to bring mine down here and see if I can capitalize on this. I think if we get below here, we're going to have a strong push down, I think. So let's have a wee look. Let me just draw this like this. See if this does come back a little bit. I'm just going to keep it out of the way a minute. I don't think it's going to come up anymore, is it? So that is where I think it's going to go. So where have we got? 975, 775. It's like 8 points, isn't it? Okay, let's see how we get on. Actually, let's remove that a minute. It's just going to be in the way. Okay, I'd say there, yeah, so we're probably going to come down to about here. Let's pop that back in there. To there. And probably there. Let's have a look. I'm guessing somewhere here, I think. Well, I'm going to follow it down quite tightly. Just in case it decides to jump up on me. But if we can get lower than here, then I think we're going to get another push. Keep that down there and try and follow it. Because sometimes you've put it a little bit below there and it just bursts straight through and you miss out on a few points. So we need to get below a little bit further, just below that. There we go. Okay. Now possibly could have got, I just probably got a little bit more of that, but we've broken this low and I think that's a reasonable amount there. Where did I come out of it? Let's have a look. Where did I come out? Excuse me a minute. Sorry about that. Did I come out here or a little bit lower? I thought I came out a bit lower. But well. I mean, it may go lower. Sometimes I don't like to be too greedy because sometimes then it can pop back up too quick and then you end up backtracking and losing a chunk of your money. So that's $625. So I'm really pleased with that. You took out 9 points. Good on you, Jacko. You know, sometimes when we push below this low, I like to let it have its first push and then just try and jam me stopping somewhere just to try and grab a chunk of profit. Anybody else get some of that? Your red bars inside. Yeah, in some cases, see, the ironic thing is, I've seen a lot of trades like that where the whole bar's red and people tend to leave them, but that actually, it means the same thing, but I like it, as I've said many times, that's where I like them, nice and tight on the underside, and we've come down, haven't we? We've gone a bit sideways, we've had a break, so we've had literally we've had 2 legs up. It's always nice to do 2 legs up. If that had gone a bit bearish, yeah, I bet that on some charts will be quite bearish, and a lot of people would have taken that one. That's why I leave them, because what happened? You got triggered and stopped out, and look what happened then. You'll end up coming right the way down. So, yeah. Let's have a look. Thank you, guys. Well done. Yep, thank you. Thanks to you. That's a nice one. Anybody get some of that, did they? Same here? I was waiting for... Yeah, that's the trouble sometimes. Doesn't see how it's come back. Now, that's why I kind of jammed mine in. As soon as it went below here, somewhere here. Because when you have a good, quick push down like that, especially when you break a new low, sometimes then it's going to have it popping back up. So I like to just grab some money quickly while it's there. I'd always like to do minimum 1-to-1, and it's like 1 to 1.75 there, so I'm pleased with that, so that's good enough for me. Apple Sam 6 points, Julian 7 points, excellent. Bill 2 points, good on you. Well done. I understand that the cough can be very harsh on you. I've had some experience. I recommend medicine. Well, you know what, my wife just bought me one of those. It's coming tomorrow, one of those, what's it called? That's like a machine which pumps steam into your lungs, because I have asthma as well, so sometimes when I get a cold, it goes on my chest and affects my asthma a bit. But she's ordered me one of those. Will be coming from Amazon tomorrow, so you just put a bit of fluid in it and it pumps steam into it, helps clear. There is a possible short setting up there. I don't like the way it's finished. Let's have an overall look. What's going on? So, okay, so at least we've had one nice trade. One nice trade, that much. I'm more than happy with that. And if I can get that a day, I'll be the happiest man alive on 2 contracts. Okay, so we've come in, haven't we? We've had a little push up. Maybe because the news about possibly Russia, I don't know. And then we went a little bit sideways, and then we started to come down. So I've got a feeling this chart, this channel, sorry. Excuse me a minute, I'm just going to cough again. Sorry about that. I mean, we may get, let's have a look what we had last week. And we had that big, strong push down. So I thought we were going to do a bit of sideways then, but it just kept on going, didn't it? And then we sort of consolidated, really, didn't we, there? Followed by a quick push up. And we could sort of do that, do something similar to that again, really, I suppose. And if you look at that, with that little bit of stack in there, it could almost be a sort of a repeat of that. So we may get a strong move down. And I say may because I mean may. But what I tend to do, if I end up having a good start like that, I'll make sure the next trade I take is as safe as it can be. So let me just pop this here like this. So we start here, respecting it. If we get a lower high or a higher low, a lower high here, that might be another option. Let's have a look. Wait for the lower high, yeah. New to the channel, like your strat so far. Thank you. IA, where you from, brother? Always like to know where people are from. Okay, maybe this might be a failed breakout of here. Not sure yet. It's a little bit too early. So sometimes I usually have a blown out chart on another screen, but all my screens taken up at the moment. I kind of save me having to quickly zoom out. If I bring that up there, that fits the top better and it fits the bottom nice, so that, I'm guessing it's probably somewhere along the lines of that. It is stacking sideways a little bit. Okay, so that's your first entry. If anything, it's going to be a failure, I think. Salisbury, Wiltshire, eh? Salisbury, Wiltshire. Ooh, I once played the drums in the school band in the Salisbury Playhouse. I lived down in Tidworth, which is about 12 miles from Salisbury, isn't it? Something like that. And I lived in Winchester for a few years as well. Yeah, that's a better spelling, isn't it? If you can't spell Salisbury. Yeah, you can't get away with not spelling your own hometown. There is a possible short here. I just don't like the sideways stuff. Salisbury. Ooh, spent a lot of my time down south. Beautiful area, that is. Beautiful area. Not far from Stonehenge. Look at that. Yeah. In fact, I was just about to watch that film. Is it with David Tennant? About what was the Russian guy that they tried to they poisoned, didn't they? That was around Salisbury, wasn't it? What's his name? I forget his name now. I noticed it was advertised on Sky yesterday. I think we were going to have a watch of it tonight. You have a nice setup, Jacko. Yeah, just got to be a bit careful around there because it's a bit sidewaysy. And when it's sideways, there's traders thinking, we're going up. Traders thinking we're going down. And that balance makes things going sideways. So really, it could, pop up or pop down. And I don't like the way that one broke a bit higher than here. So let's have a look. Probably going to work through. Yeah, it's probably going to come down, I'd say, based on what I'm seeing so far. But yeah, it's a little bit sideways there. You mentioned that about the... Let's have a look. New to the channel. Oh, your strat. Oh yeah, are you training with anyone, are you? Because if you're doing Pats, I recommend you join his course. Max course. If you are looking for something, and the reason I recommend it is because it's $120 for a year. So if you've literally just come to the site accidentally, and you're quite new to trading, I recommend priceactiontradingsystem.com. I've got nothing to do with them, no affiliate with them. It's just how I learned. And the reason I took the course is because it was $120. Peanuts. But there is quite a few of us UK lads around now. I think there's probably 4 or 5 and a couple from that place up north we call Scotland. There's a couple of guys from there. Okay, so we've sort of had this push up, haven't we? We've had a break, a new high. And, I'm not convinced we're not going to come up here a bit and maybe do a bit of sideways. Excuse me a minute when I just have a little cough again. Daniel, what did you think of Andrew Lockwood's trading methods? I like Andrew. I like him a lot, actually. I did his course for 6 months. I like him because he's clearly made a lot of money over the years. He's got a big London house, but he's not flash with it all. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't show it off. You know, sometimes in pictures and that you notice it a little bit. But I like him because he's very clearly spoken, easy to understand. He explains things very well. I think the only issue for me about, aside from Andrew, is I found currency a little bit slow for me, I think. It was quite slow. He taught a lot about maybe sort of swing trading, a little bit in intraday trading, and I just found that a little bit slow. As you'll know from listening to me, I'm quite a wired person. I don't do anything slowly. If I make a cup of tea downstairs, my hands are flipping all over the place. So the speed of this suits me, and I like the way we just trade the one chart and the one time frame. I like that. Whereas currency, there was multiple charts, multiple time frames, multiple currency pairs. There was just charts everywhere. But if that's what you want to do, that's your style. I like Andrew a lot. He's a nice guy. I spoke to him on the phone a couple of times, and I've exchanged emails with him as part of his course, and I liked him. He's a friendly guy, very experienced guy as well. Yeah, they do a lot. Yeah, the thing about currencies, what you got to try and do is find a weak currency against a strong currency, and that gives you a trend. But I don't know, scalping's more me. I think it's more my personality. I like the faster moving stuff. I like to see it move. some of the charts trading days or swing trading, you can hardly see a bar move. So when I saw this being traded, I thought this is just me. So, but yeah, I like Andrew. He's a nice guy. Where are we? Salisbury steak is delicious. Yeah. Yeah, definitely check him out, mate. He's all right, actually. I purely went... There was another couple of guys that sort of, I think, pinched his system a bit. And they were charging $350, and I was about to pay that, but I did a little bit of research, and I found they nicked the idea from Mac. Now, Mac, I believe, has been trading about 27 years, and he puts... if you look him up on YouTube, priceactiontradingsystem.com, he puts a video 4 days a week, every week, and he's done that for nearly 13 years, so he's tried and tested. And the fact that it cost $120, I thought was a no-brainer. You can spend thousands on some courses, and you don't know what you're going to be getting, really. But for $120, that's a little bit under 100 quid in it. You got nothing to lose, have you? So for me, that was a no-brainer. So look, I think we might be doing a bit of this now. Would we say it's that, and that's a failed breakout? So that probably fits better, doesn't it? Let's have a look. That's not too bad. I think we're doing a little bit of sideways. Michael Chin, yeah. Actually, that's what got me interested in trading this style, was Michael Chin, so I thank him for that. But I think he sort of pinched a bit of Mac's ideas and some of the materials. I believe there was letters exchanged or something. I think he was forced to stop. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but he's the one that got me interested in it. I just like the style of it. But obviously then when I did a little bit of, and Riley Coleman as well, they both got me into it. I watched them for about 3 months solidly and just thought, yeah, this is for me. And then I came across where it sort of came from, Mac. And I like Mac, very level-headed, very calm guy. Easy to listen to. And it just sort of went from there, really. But I had lots of help on the Facebook group. I put my chart every day and asked for feedback and help and support, and there was always plenty there. That's why I never want to charge people. Someone said to me a while ago, do a Discord, charge someone X amount of money. I don't want to do that because I wasn't charged for help or support from other traders unless it was a proper course, and I've only been doing it a couple of years, so I don't want them. I class you guys as just guys like me, just guys with the same. It's like a club. This is to me, guys with the same interests. I'm not after making. I only put that on there because I get a few quid out. It doesn't cost you nothing, so. I don't mind doing that, but I don't want to charge people. I'm not a teacher. I don't explain things very well. And not just that, when you start doing that, you're committed, aren't you? You have to keep on going. And I like the freedom of, doing what I want. If I want to go on holiday, I'll go on holiday tomorrow. You know what I mean? But if you're doing these... Oh, what's going on here? There's no news today, is there? No. If there's no... You're committed, aren't you, once you start doing these courses? No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, as I've noticed that, Daniel. Yeah, Riley's changed his system a bit, hasn't he? Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? He has changed his system. In fact, I think he's gone on to trading micros, I think, isn't he? Sure, I saw him trading micros. But I don't think they needed to do the course, those two, because they got that many subscribers and views. I think some of their views got into 750,000. So surely they can make money off YouTube, can't they, with all the views and stuff? So I'm surprised they went ahead and did the course. If you're having 750,000, I don't know too much about earning money on YouTube, but I'm thinking surely with those amounts they can make a chunk of money off that. The way I see it, I'm in here to make money from trading. I'm not interested in YouTube or anything like that. Too much commitment for me. I just do this because it helps me. And you get to chat with other like-minded people who've got the same sort of freaky mentality that you have. There is a bit of resistance up here, so I'm just wondering, is that why that is likely to come? Yeah, there is. Just going to keep an eye on that. Risky to short there, but I think if we're going to come down, this might be an area where we could. So let's see if we get any measured moves up there. Let's have a look. No. I think there's 2 measured moves to here, but let's get rid of that a minute. There is a possible lower high, higher low there. I get a bit nervous about these though. Yeah, I kind of hope it doesn't finish bearish. Let's just zoom out a little bit and find out what's going on. Like this, we've had this sort of S shape, haven't we? So here's where the market opened this morning. So that could be an area of where we possibly bounce off or retest. No, I don't know what's going on there. Let's get rid of that one for starters. Bit of a... Okay, so there's our open. Let's see what happens. Leading loser. You got to change your name, buddy. 3865. Top. Yeah, I think your comment was about a minute ago, wasn't it? So we've hit that now. So let's see what happens here. So this is the market open, which we've sort of pushed through but closed below. Bill, you hit the nail on the head, Lance. Which nail? What did I say? Which one? I say that much that much crap comes out of my house. It's hard to identify one single bit of it. What bit are you on about? Sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. So to ask me to to get me to identify an individual part of it is a bit of a loss, I think. I think that's why I can trade and talk at the same time, because my mouth just goes on autopilot. So, okay, so we've had this. I'm not even convinced. I think that may be more like this, I think. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, I think that's more like that. I've noticed some days price goes in either direction and then back. Yeah, sometimes it is a bit random, isn't it? All of it. Thank you, mate. Okay, so do I take that or not? I think I might. Let's have a look. Okay. We've had a break, we've had a new high, and we've had a lower high. So I'm going to take this and see if I can ride it back. Let's leave that there. Now, I'm not going to be too greedy here. Just going to take my points a little bit. Let's have a look. Just want to see the overall again. Now, the only reason I'm taking that, because this is sort of an uptrend, the only reason I'm taking it is because I think the overall is down, although I'm getting a little bit nervous. I'm kind of hoping this doesn't finish bullish. Okay, I think we're okay. Sometimes you can go second entry long, but I think the bias is down. Yeah, I'm getting a bit nervous here. Let's have a look. Going to give that an extra tick. I think we're screwed anyway, which is a shame because we had a nice start. In fact, I'm going to take it up to there. That's the previous swing high. We'll try and get out of this as quick as. Come on, come down. If I took that, that would have took me out, but that was the extra tick I gave it, wasn't it? So I'm going to keep that there, actually. I'm going to try and get out of this trade if I can. Let's have a look. So when we were at the extra tick sometimes made a difference there. Yeah, I'm still a bit nervous about this. See if it does push down. Okay. I'm leaving that there, I think. Just getting a bit nervous. I'm going to leave that there. If it hits it, it hits it. If we can push down, then I think we may be okay, but... okay. Oh, what's happened there? What the hell's happened there? Okay, I don't know what happened there. It seemed to go through my... Did anybody say that? Or was that just me? My stop was here. I don't know what happened. Okay. That was a bit weird, that was. I didn't like that. That's why I got out of it. It's probably likely going to come down here, but I didn't like that. So that, we had a break, new high. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Okay, I think we had to have some sort of a little bit of a pullback after this. So we did a bit of ranging, didn't we? And we had a push up. It sort of respected this a little bit, and then it went up and was bouncing along the bottom of the open. So we had a break, new high, trying to go once. And then usually, if we're coming down, that's where we do it. And I gave that an extra tick and it helped me out again. So the other day I did that, gave it an extra tick and it worked, didn't it? So I heard Max say something about an extra tick. So what did that get us? I think it got us about $175, didn't it? Which is, considering what happened there. Yeah, it's gone a little bit choppy there. I just thought when it hit that, it went above it, closed below it, went above it, closed below it. Didn't get above it, went above it, closed below it. I thought that was the lower high, and I thought that was a good trade. Turns into be not a brilliant trade. But you got 3 points. Yeah. See what I mean about the extra tick? Well, I actually moved mine to the previous swing high. Which is a little bit riskier, but even one tick above that would have worked. But it's just gone a little bit choppy now. What did I get off that one? Let's have a look. 4, 5, 6, 2 points. Okay, 2 points is 2 points. That's all right. I'm happy to guarantee 2 points than just to leave it any longer. So let's have a little bit look what's going on here. Let's put that there. Let's have a bit of a closer look what's going on here. See, we could, to be honest with you, could be in a bit of a range day. Let's get rid of this here. And let's put that. In fact, I can get rid of this now. Excuse me a minute. Sorry about that. Where was we? Let's bring this over a bit. Okay, that looks okay. Touch. I don't think there's anything else we can adapt that to. Possibly there. I don't know, let's leave it there. Okay. So yeah, we could. In fact, I'm going to get rid of that because if you look at that where we opened, that sort of respected that midline, isn't it? So there's congestion around there. So it seems to be the midline that's playing a part there and the open. So I think we could now be coming back down again in a second leg. So let's make ourselves aware of this. Where it could. Let's put that there because that's sort of where it was, wasn't it? So let's have a look. So there's the new high. I want to go once. So there's a possible failure here if we get a push below here. So apart from the sake that it went a tick above it, it could work out okay. But I think, I don't know, what do you guys? You think that's a good trade? We've clearly had a break, new high. Trying to go new high, ended up bearish. I mean, some people say that's a doji. It's not really a doji, it's in the middle where it's sort of neither in nor there. But if that was a tick lower on someone else's chart, that'd be a beautiful bearish bar. So we've had this new high, we've come down at a lower high. So you would think then we'll be coming back towards the end, which you have. It's just this bar threw me there, these two, which were a little bit higher than I thought. It failed, but I didn't have the brass. Yeah. I think, mate, you probably had the sensible answer then. So look at this here. So this is a new high after this. So that's a second entry long there, yeah, with the bearish bar. So depends which side of the fence you're on, whether you want to go long there. Let's see if it triggers. Now it'll either push up there or it'll come down there and stop you out. So let's see. That's an 18 tick bar, isn't it? Now, I would say, based on what I can see, we've had this big, strong push down, followed by a bit of a correction. I mean, it might come back up here. I just don't know. But I would say there's definitely going to be some longs in there. So if that comes down here and triggers below here, I'm tempted to put a sell order in there. Because that, for a new high, is a second entry long. We've been in an uptrend. EMA's facing upwards. So perhaps it is going to go up. Sometimes markets are quite easy and predictable. Other times they just throw you a curveball sometimes, what you're not expecting it. Okay, so you'd have got 2 points out of that anyway, so... Okay, so... Maybe... that. Let's see how we get first. There could be a bit of a yeah, it's risky taking that, even if it is a short. Yeah, it's why a lot of the times I have a sort of zoomed out version of it on another screen, so I can have a quick glance and keep it in mind the overall. But let's do this. Okay, I kind of like the look of that. I very much like the look of that. Let's see if it plays a part. See how it's respected nicely on here. In fact, probably by the end of the day might not even be far off that. And I kind of like that. In, we're up, we're down. See what happens here. But that could be our way down. Now, I wouldn't go take anything just yet. Let's see if it pushes through and gives us something else. But you have a larger uptrend that broke and just took a second entry off the EMA. Here, that one there. Yeah. I mean, for those of you who thought it would go, I think it's a good trade. I'm just, because we've had such this push down again, I like it to have a little bit of a correction and give it a chance to come down again before I think about going long. But, you know, I get that was an all right trade. I'm thinking down at the moment, so for me, which is why I left it, but I think it's an all right trade, actually. Normally I have 9-point losses. And not just that, on the 10,000 tick chart, it's going a little bit. We've had this push down, we've had a pull back, a little bit of sideways here, so I mean, for me now, touched here, touched here, touched here, touched here, touched here. I'd say now we're going down. So let's say that's a new high, isn't it? Try to go once or twice. That is technically our failure, but I think that's risky going short above the EMA when the EMA is still pointing upwards, even though we are respecting this top line here. If we can get a push down and then a lower high, then I'll take that. I have a larger trend before your last trade as well. A larger trend. I mean, up here, uptrend then, yeah? Let's have a look. Yeah, that looks alright actually. In fact, that might... See what happens here. So... Yeah, see, I've drawn that trend down, but this might just be a range day. The only reason I'm leaving that at the moment is because it's finished in 3 places there and 2 places there. And the trouble is, sometimes if you're going along here, it'll tick above and then come down. So at the moment, until we either come below that EMA, I ain't going long or short. It's just the way that it's held there every time. Let's see what happens with this. Because if there are some long traders in here, then they may be going along there. So let's see what happens. My thoughts are still bearish at the moment. But we may just be in a range, and this might be just the slow move up. I'm going to move that up a touch. The reason I'm doing that is because... nothing. Unlike your large downtrend, it just means I'm like... Yeah, I mean, for me... I kind of like the way it touched. Broken above a little bit, but it's fitting at the bottom quite nice. So that's often how it works. We'll come down, we'll go up, we'll come down, we'll go up. So let's see what happens here. There's probably going to be some longs having a go here. Now, if you've gone long there, that's triggered. So let's see if that plays out. I personally think that's going to come down, but I might be wrong. If anyone's long in there, I think that's going to get stopped out. I do, even if you stops down here. But as my wife will tell you, I'm wrong a lot. But if we are in this downtrend, it could break out a little bit and come down, which then would give the... You still get your order points. But as I said before, this midline has played quite a few... it's played a part a little bit, so this may go up here a bit. So it's hand warming time. Yeah, so if I'd gone long there, I'd be arse, my arse would be twitching. We may also, yeah, that may be doing a little bit of sideways stuff as well. Stay. Bramped. The way PA moves quickly away from the EMA in the direction makes it feel like a range for me. Yeah. 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 So if you'd have gone long there or there, well, if you'd gone long there, you'd have probably got your points anyway. What would you have got? But I feel this is coming down. But I might be wrong. What would you have got there? Let's have a look. Okay, right, so you'd have got 3, you'd have got 3.5 points. Possibly a touch more, it wasn't that close. Hey. We're getting a bit of sideways stuff. I will ask you guys a question after as well. I've never really thought much about doing multiple accounts or using a trade copy it. But I saw a comment on one of the Facebook groups earlier, and some guy had messed up, or I don't know, he'd lost a bunch of accounts, and someone said, I still can't understand why people trade all their accounts at the same time. Well, I thought that was the whole idea of trade copier, to trade everything at the same time. I thought that was the whole idea. You know, if you've got 5 accounts, instead of doing like I do, 2 contracts, you might want to just do 1 contract on each. That way it gives you a decent amount of money to earn. But you're not risking, larger amounts. So I don't know what your thoughts on that. Okay, so it does seem to be going a bit sideways. Now, maybe it'll be a breakout and it'll come down, or maybe it is a range. just have a look at the daily quickly. So we've had this big push down since March, haven't we? So we've come down, we've gone up a little bit, try to go up again. So it may, I'm thinking one leg down, 2 pushes up, another leg down. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking more likely going to be down today. My next plan, adding more accounts, Replicanto. It's about taking fewer trades. Yeah, but this guy made a comment. He'd blown his accounts. I can't remember what he'd done. But then someone put a comment. I can't believe people trade all their accounts at the same time. I thought that was the whole idea. Trade 5 accounts, one contract on each rather than one account, 2 contracts or something. I thought, I might have to do a little bit of research. That it's something I've never thought of. I thought I'd only do that when I actually make some money, because at the rate I was blowing accounts, as you've seen, imagine if I was doing 5 blowing 5 at a time. Okay, what's going to happen here? So this could be a bit of a failed breakout, or it might not be. Let's have a look. Hi Ian, how you doing, brother? You have a good Christmas? Hope everybody did. You should try Netty Potty. Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's just like a little pot you put steam. My wife's ordered me something like that. It's I forget what they call it now, a nebulizer. It's like a machine with a tube, and you put a little mask on and it does the same sort of thing, pumps steam into it. She's ordered me one of those from Amazon. It was only about 40 quid. Excuse me a minute. Sorry about that. Yeah, she's ordered me one of those, so that should be here sometime tomorrow, so I'll use that. I've looked at some of the reviews and they swear by them for cleaning congestion and cleaning your nose and your lungs out a bit. The trouble is I've got asthma. It's only mild asthma, but sometimes when I get a virus it tends to go on my chest and causes me to cough a load of crap. It's just a pain in the arse. I've got to say my stomach muscles were hurting that much from coughing in the night. Trouble is when you get one of those little tickles, it just drives you around the bloody twist. Yeah, so I'm like a little bit choppy. Yeah, it certainly is. It's definitely in a bit of a range, isn't it? I'm still thinking downwards. I am at the moment. I've had this big push down, a little bit of a correction, bit of sideways. We'll either move up here, but I think we're coming down. But that's just my thoughts. Leading loser. I think some people trade copying in batches, maybe 3 or 4 accounts, and not all their accounts in one go. Yeah. Trouble is, if you've got, the only trouble is you're going to be able to do half and half. So let's say you've got 6 accounts. You're going to be, what are you going to trade? 3 of them one day, then 3 of them the next. So you're only trading half at a time, aren't you? Look, perhaps this is playing a part, we'll see. So I'm not fully comfortable with the way that works at the moment. I thought the whole idea was to do them all at the same time. Mind you, to be honest with you, this is my 9th day, yeah? And we're up to just under $4,500. So let's say, for argument's sake, I do 500 tomorrow. So in 2 weeks, I've made $5,000 profit. So in a month, you would guess, if we double that, it's $10,000. So $10,000 trading 2 contracts, okay? Now I could trade up to 10 on here, so I could trade 5 times that. So theoretically, you could earn $50,000 a month on this, just trading, one account. Now, if I earn $50,000 in a month, I think there's a possibility I may take the chunk of it out and trade my own account part, possibly. I don't know yet. But I don't know how comfortable I'd be with having a company sitting on $30,000-$40,000 of your money. So I suppose that's something that will happen in time. So Jacko. What have I missed? Let's have a look. I think something. Yeah. Target 3895. Techno King 3895. 3895. Up here somewhere. Yeah, it does look like. See, if this pushes up to here, then I think we're more of a range. If it breaks and comes down here, then I think we're more. And you know, no. It's all right. $4,000 in 9 days. That's insane. I don't know what's good and what's not good. It's hard to compare it to because I've never really seen what anybody else sort of makes. I know some of the sniper guys. I think they swing trade a lot of them, so I think they can make serious amounts of money. I think. So I don't know whether that's good or bad. The bit I'm pleased about is that that every day I've done has been in the green, so that's more important for me than sort of the amounts. Excuse me a minute. So it's hard to compare it to because people don't really talk so much about their PA accounts. You only tend to hear more about their evaluations. So I don't know what's good and what isn't good. We're trading 10. Bill, you're trading 10 accounts with trade copy it. Does all accounts get the same entry? Yeah. See, that's what I thought the idea was. So if I had five $50,000 accounts, yeah, and where I've been trading 2 contracts. Now you might call that risky. I can only lose 6 in a row, which is true. But if I lose 6 trades in a row, then I'm an appalling trader anyway, and I'm clearly not ready for this. So that's my thought. But I get the idea that you could maybe, if you had 6 accounts, you could maybe trade 3 of them 1 contract, 3 of them 2 contracts. Or maybe, one of them a little bit more, and just, you can have some a little bit more risky and some a little bit less riskier. But whatever happens, because, you're sharing the risk, you shouldn't get any major losses. So it's just another way of upping, your income, just a different way. So I kind of get why people do them. But I do hear lots of stories of a guy saying, I got 10 accounts, I blew them all. So if you're not trading well at the moment and you're blowing lots of accounts, I think it's much better to blow 1 account than to blow 8. That's the only downside, because it becomes 8 times the price then. So okay, so if we are in this downtrend, we've pushed out, okay, and made a new high. Now we seem to have a little bit of pullback, so let's see what happens here, whether it does push back. Does that look like a range to me? Sort of, but it might not be. We might just have a little bit of sideways there, a push up, a break new high, a little bit of sideways, push out, and it's just hard to say at the moment. Let's have a look. Also consistent and confident. Just keep enough of the trading account to cover the margin. Yeah. A guy said to me, I probably told you this, Andrew Lockwood said to me, I spoke to him on the phone once, nearly just under a couple of years ago, and I was just talking about money quite a bit, and he went, I'll give you some advice. Forget money, concentrate on your trading, concentrate on winning trades, and when that happens, the money will follow. I guarantee it. You can't help but earn money then, but concentrate on just getting the trading right. Don't think about money or making money, because it'll confuse your trading, and you'll be thinking about money, and it'll mess with your head a bit. Just get the trading right, and as your trading improves, so will your skills, so will your confidence, and you'll just have that belief, and you'll do it for so long, you'll know you can do it, and then the money will just follow. So you hear a few things, don't you, during your life, but just some things just stick with you. Some things stick with it. So I've tended to not think about money too much if I can. Apart from, maybe setting myself a goal. I'm obviously aware what I'm earning, but I'm not trying to be greedy, or I'm not set myself financial goals really. I like to just get a green day, and that's it. Let's have a look here. are you talking about? You're talking about Wilson. Let's have a look. I think he's just passed his evaluation, I think. I looked at his video the other day. I think he had a really good first day, actually. Something like $2,000 odd, I think. Trade one contract, so if he loses, it's better to have it. Yeah. Yeah, so everyone's got their own different thoughts on, you know, how they're going to trade it, I suppose. Okay, so there is. We've had this possibly a breakout. Try to go once, try to go twice, we'll push below the EMA, come back up, see where this ends. I've got a funny feeling if this ends, it's going to sit right in that midline, which is going to make me a bit nervous. Although I think we are coming down. We've had that push down. It is a failure, isn't it? Oh, God, what to do? Yeah, Fife, how you doing? Well, I heard a few people saying that they're going to trade on the 27th. So I can't remember what happened last year. But you know what it's like, don't you? You soon get bored after Christmas, don't you? Excuse me a minute. Sorry about that, full of cold. Yeah, so I thought I'd have a go, and so far we've had a good day, a couple of trades. See, that could be a second entry long, so there may be some longs in that. We've pushed up through, we've come back, bounced off the top of this range, but there is a possible failure there, and I think if that breaks down below here, it may push down. I am thinking down, so I'm going to get an order ready, and we're just going to have a look at this, see how it plays out. So we've had this bit of sideways, we pushed out of it, haven't we? Try to go once, try twice. Let's have a look. Okay. I'm going to give that an extra tick. See if we can run them. I'm not going to be too greedy here. I need to break below here, though. Okay, that's pushed below there, so that's good. Let me just have a look at this. There and there, there and there. So I'm going to take that down a little bit lower. Probably there. I'll move, and I'm going to follow it down. What I don't want to do is give anything back. So come on, get down there. I'm going to leave that there. Okay. Just concerned me that I probably could have held on. It would have probably gone down a bit, but it just concerned me the way it's touched here and here. I thought it's touched and it may go back up. Just made me a little bit nervous that the way it was bouncing off there. So what did I get off that one? Let's have a look. 63, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I thought I got a bit more than that. 4, 5, 6, 2.5 points. Okay, 2.5 points. 2.5 points. That's 3 good trades, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm denied about that one, but I think this is a breakout of this trend. You know, I'm still bearish at the moment. And this is possibly going to go down here, but the fact that we're going a bit sideways, we've had that, it could be a failed breakout of a range, we could be ranging a bit more. The fact that it touched it and went up a bit, I thought, just get out. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Anybody else get into that or not? A failure? I suppose, see, if it breaks below here, then I think it's got more of a chance of coming down, because I'd say there's possibly going to be some longs still in there, but Sometimes I'd rather get out and guaranteed something than be a little bit greedy and end up getting caught out. I think it's quite likely going to get here, but my chart always on 27 trade. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're up $1,000. That's what we like. Nice. 3 good trades. So let's pop that there. Okay, so the market's been a bit generous for a change. I think if it drops below here, it'll come down a bit more. What's going on there? So look. Yeah, okay. I thought it could trouble is, how long do you hold on to something for? When it bounced off there and came back up, I thought, sometimes you're better off just to get a good amount, and I think 2.5 points is all right. Because you just don't know, do you? It's getting a little bit choppy sometimes. So sometimes I've held and waited out, and it's come back, and I've ended up getting out of it for a tick or two. So sometimes it's just riskier. How much did it come down? So I always like to rub my nose in it. When it come down, 6.5 points. So now let's have a look. Now what I'm going to do is bin that for a minute. Now this now to me looks like, I'm just thinking if I could adjust this anywhere, it would take this further down. So I'd say that's where we're touching here. Breakout, failure. That's a failure coming down. See what happens here. Could still be in a range, and we could be just moving up. But it's just the way it's respected on that midline and the open. But for me, I'm looking for this second leg down, which this is just a rough guesstimate, if you like. You're full of cult, yeah. There's loads of stuff going around, isn't there? I only just got rid of one. Trouble is, when you get a bit older, they just hang around for bloody ages, don't they? And it is annoying. Mind you, it got me out of shopping. I was supposed to go out shopping with my wife and daughter, but they gave me the afternoon off. Well, I did tell them I wasn't going to trade over Christmas, but when I tell her how much I've earned today, I think she'll forgive me. Let's have a look. You have a good Christmas, Fife? Over and done with quick. I did sit there. Wife got me a nice bottle of 12-year-old Aberlour. So I sat there on Christmas Day and had a couple of them in the evening and admired me socks and pants that I got for Christmas. I hate getting socks, I've got to say. There's nothing more boring of a present than socks. That to me just says, just get them socks, because there's nothing else to buy. In fact, I got a trader mug, actually. That was probably my pride and joy. So yeah, I didn't get myself a lot, but I got my wife one of those Samsung watches. Samsung, yeah. The Galaxy watches, so she had something nice. And I didn't have a lot. You can either profit from my bank account. I got that many different. I got a few of these. So we've got this deal now, and I've got this Revolut account, and I've just upgraded the Revolut account to the Revolut Metal because it's unlimited currency exchange. Because I know if I just withdraw my money from, let's say I drew $2,000, say 1,650 quid. If I withdrew that from my deal account into my bank would charge me 2.99%, so basically 3%. So that's like 55 quid they'll charge me just to convert it. And that's just on $2,000. You know, if in 3 months I withdraw $5,000, it's going to go up. So whereas the The Revolut account's $12.99 a month, and it's unlimited, exchange free. So 6 months down the line, if I'm lucky enough to be able to draw $10,000 out, I'm not going to get stung with a ton of money. So she don't know about that account, but she may watch these, so I better be careful what I say. But no, we have joint accounts. We don't keep anything from anybody, from each other. She's my biggest supporter on here, actually. She's given me lots of encouragement when I've had down days. So hopefully we start earning some decent money. We can all have a better life, have some nicer holidays and more of them. Let's have a look. Jacko, ESH3. What's that, bud? ESH3. Not sure what that is, mate. Yes. Okay. There's a bit of a downtrend. We've had a bit of a break, but it is a bit sideways. So I'm guessing it's coming back to the top of this downtrend and thinking, okay, are we going down now, or are we not? Your wife's been ultra supportive. Yeah, it does. I think you need it because it can feel like quite a lonely old world at times. And I've been stuck in my bedroom, I have, and just feeling really low because I've just blown another account and another one and another account. Sometimes I've felt physically sick. And I remember saying to my wife about a month or so ago, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Will you think anything less of me if I don't? And she went, well, no, I won't. But if there's anybody I know could do it, it'd be you. So that gave me a little bit of a boost, which is why I bought her something a bit nicer at Christmas, because I thought, it's nice when you get some support, because people don't realise how much of a lonely old world it can be when you're losing money after money and blowing account after account. So, yeah, if you've got a supportive partner, it is helpful. Don't get me wrong. My wife doesn't know how much I've really spent on this. I think she thinks I've blown about 20 accounts, not about 90. But what I'll do is, if I get all the money back, then I'll tell her then. But we won't be paying any tax on that first chunk of it, so it won't make a difference. Okay, there is a second entry short there. I don't like the way that's going sideways, because it could go into a bit of a range a bit more, which is sort of at the bottom of that range. It could go down or it could go up a bit, so I don't take them when they're like that. There was a time where I would have done, but I've just learnt the hard way. One more hour and you sign off. Yeah, a couple of how long have we been going for now? Yeah, probably an hour and a quarter. I tend to like the 3 hours, but market's been good to us so far. We've had 3 nice trades, nice bit of money up. I kind of like the way I came out of that when I did, because it has gone sideways, and so we've had a good day today. Some days we'll have a crap day, or it'll be slow, but then other days sometimes you'll get surprised and you'll have a nice big chunk of money. I used to work my ass off all week for $1,000, or which is about 800 quid, something like that. I'd have to work my ass off 50 hours for that. Yeah, I'd say if you're trading demos and stuff and you're learning, I'd say put in as many hours as you can, because a lot of people say screen time's input. Some people say, limit it. But when you're actually getting somewhere and you're starting to deal with the emotional side of it and trying to pick up a couple of regular trades a day, then I'd say, yeah, keep it to, limit it a little bit. But while you're learning, I'd say do as many hours as you can, because not everyone is lucky enough to be able to, have days where they can trade. Because I know a lot of you guys in the US, it's morning, so some of you might be trading before work or on your days off, whereas for me, I'm lucky in a way because market opens at 2:30, so even if I'm working till 5 o'clock sort of tea time here, I've still got another few hours I can trade. So some countries it's a lot easier. Do you stream every day? Not at the moment. it's probably 3 to 4 days, but hopefully in January I can get a payment that will enable me then to trade 5 days a week and just work on the weekends. So hopefully then, yeah, it'll go to 5 days. That'd suit me. I hate going out to work. I hate working for other people. Yeah, that's when you request your withdrawal, are you going to trade while waiting for your approval or wait until it's approved? I'll just keep trading as normal, I think. The plan is to get to $7,000, so I've got way enough in there to cover the $2,000. So I'll just keep trading, I suppose. I did put a post yesterday inquiring about how it works, because you apply for it between the 1st and the 5th, and you get it the 15th. So I was just inquiring, when does it come out? And they said it takes a few days to just clear, and then it'll come out. So, but I'm purposely leaving $5,000 in there for when it does come out, so I've still got plenty to trade. But what I will do is, when I do it and when I get the email and all this, I'll post it all for you on here so you can all see it. It's nice to see people getting paid, because it just gives you a little bit more faith in the system. So Asim, yeah, so I will trade 3 to 4 days at the moment, but if you subscribe, I believe when I put a schedule one out, I think it lets you know. I'm not really up with YouTube at the moment, but usually, definitely Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9:30 when the market's open, Eastern Standard Time. Anywhere from about 2.5 to 5 hours, I suppose we've done. So I'm thinking, I like this. Let's have a little look. I like the way this is pushed down, and it's had sort of 2 to 3 pushes up. Let's see if we end up bearish here. Mike. Yeah, that's the emotional pain of losing. Isn't something non-traders can understand? Absolutely not, mate. My wife says, well, why have you blown one? Well, just don't do it. I wish it was that simple, just to not do it. Okay, I kind of like this. Let's see how it finishes. No, forget it. Yeah. No. Until you've done some trading, you've blown some accounts, and you've had that sickening feeling, you don't know what it's like, do you? But anybody who's ever done any trading knows what it feels like. But no, other types of human beings have just got no bloody idea, have they? No, my wife goes, well, why did you blow it? Well, just don't do it. I wish it was that simple. You just can't. It's hard for it to explain. It's hard to explain, isn't it? Maybe she'll understand one day. Techno King, will you work on my automated strategies? Will you work on my automated strategies? I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. You might need to rephrase that. Let's have a look at this. So what's going on? See, I'm still thinking bearish at the moment, but sorry, Mike, I didn't read all your comment there, but yeah, Lance, emotional pain losing. No, traders can't understand. I think it's why it's so rewarding when you turn the corner. Yeah, it is. It is a nice feeling. When I started streaming, it all changed me when I started streaming. I did feel like I was getting closer, and the losses weren't affecting me as much. But since I started streaming with the evaluation, I just took it seriously. That's the only way I can describe it. I just waited for a setup and I took it. If it didn't work, I just had to move on. But I just try and follow, get your wife an account. In fact, what I said to this was maybe 5 or 6 months ago, it was just another strategy of mine. I got to take a couple of days off work and trade with me. So we pulled the chair up and she sat with me, and she was sat doing a crossword or something. And I I did a trade. I think I lost 3 trades in a row. I got up to about $1,200 in. But the trouble is, I was revenge trading, and although she was there, she didn't have a clue what I was doing. So it just didn't work. I thought if she was sat, see, the thing about you guys, you know what I'm doing, you know what I'm looking at. So if I do something stupid, you know it. So when somebody who knows what they're doing is watching you, that's when things are a bit different. See, now if I did stupid trades and jumped in, I'd look like a right prat in front of you guys. See, so that helps you focus a bit more. Like I've said, it's almost like you guys in your normal day-to-day jobs, and you turn around and you've got 3 of your bosses looking over your shoulder. You're more likely to do a better job, aren't you? So that was part of the thought process of getting me to stream live. And just sometimes it can be a bit lonely, and it's just nice to chat with other people. And if I'm drawing a channel here and other people are going, yeah, I like that, or try, the other day, I think it was Brant was go, I've changed my trend channel from here to here, and mixing with other people and getting different ideas helps you make better decisions. So hopefully I'm helping you because you're seeing me doing it live, and you're helping me because I'm getting feedback from you guys, and so hopefully it's win-win for us all. So all's good. That's my thought process. Always trade like there's someone watching you. What a great comment. Absolutely. I mean, we should be taking it serious anyway, shouldn't we? But sometimes something just takes over, and it's almost like someone trades for you, and you see a possibility. It's not that good, but the market looks like it's going up. Sod it, we'll go long. And it goes wrong. And there's nothing worse than the feeling of taking a trade and losing it when you had that little voice in your head saying, oh, you should leave this. And, sometimes you go on and take it anyway, and then you lose it, and it makes you feel sick, doesn't it? So, but yeah, I've got to say, over the last, how long I've been trading for, this is day 9 plus 7 days. So the last 16 days, I felt very different about trading. I feel like now I'm taking it seriously. But I did have a guy, I think his name was Joe. He was from the States. He just called me up randomly one day about 6 months ago, and he said, I've just read your post, and I've just felt the urge to phone you. He said, the way you describing how you're feeling is exactly what I was going through, and this is what I do. And he told me a bunch of stuff. Said just trade on a demo, 1 trade a day, then shut the market, and then shut it down and leave it alone. And I think the premise was to get some control back, because I felt like I was out of control. So I tried doing that for a while, but I just got so frustrated, and I was eager to get back in there. So I didn't listen to him in the end, but it was nice for a guy to phone up, give me some advice. But I suppose we all have our own way of doing things, don't we? Some things work for others, but it's just nice to know that someone will pick up a phone and give you a ring. I'm happy to help other people, a little bit less experienced than me, because I've had so much help from people. If you're not a member of the price action trading system, the Facebook group, I'd absolutely join, because there's some great people in there. People like Marco. I get a lot of value from Marco. He's given me lots of advice. And Daniel. It's not as active as he used to be, Daniel. But I've had so much scrutiny off my trade from them. It's just really helped me. Excuse me a minute. Sorry about that, another episode. But yeah, I've had so much advice and help from people. Makes you feel loved. It does. I do sound a bit like Barry White this morning, don't I think? Where are you, Brant? Feels like the balls will tire and this will push down soon. Yeah, I felt, just looking at the what I'm expecting during the dailies is telling me it's more likely we're pushing down, and obviously as we've had this and this little pullback and little breakout there, I'm thinking downwards. Just waiting for a positive setup. So we've had this downward channel, we've had a break, we've had a new low, but I think sometimes with when you get a strong downward channel, you can have a new low and it can push up a couple of times and then come back down. But there's no setups at the moment. We could even end up with something like this. Let's get rid of this a minute. It gets a bit confusing otherwise. Okay, I'll shove that out of the way. Push him there a minute. Okay, so something like this is possible. Does look like we're pushing back into this range. Channel, sorry. Techno King, 3850, good, you're thinking down as well, you and me both. 3850, somewhere around there. Okay, so we've had this new high, haven't we? Let's see if we can get a bit of a... may get some setups. We've had 3 good trades today. I think there's been a few other guys. Some of you guys have had trades, haven't you? Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, Techno King, my mind's on shorts. Yeah, you and me both. 10,000 tick chart as well is looking shortish. So look, we've had this push down, haven't we? Pull back, broke new high, push down, try to go on one side. I'd say we're going down based on that. We're probably doing something like that, which is the same as what we're sort of looking at. We're trapped in a triangle, the Bermuda Triangle. So yeah, there's the daily push down, pulled up, trying to go higher again. Yeah, I'm expecting downwards, just looking at what I'm seeing for the last, I don't know, 8-10 months. Down, down, up, down, yeah. Clear downtrend. Downtrends don't look any clearer than that, so I'd say push down, pull back, push down, pull back. Yeah, I'd say we're due to go down. So my thoughts are definitely bearish at the moment. Until I see anything else. Nice to get us set up. Sorry about the sniffing. $10,000 tick chart indicator long setting for me. That's a trap, that is. You're about there, push up. Could be, but for me it's bearish. Let's have a look. A little bit of longs. I'm assuming that's where your long is, which will have triggered. But for me, I'd say it's going to come down here. Yeah, possible. But for me, I'd say there's off. I'm expecting another push down. Just if we can get below here, see, that's likely, and I think that's what's going to happen. Just unfortunate. Oh, there is a setup there. There is a lower high. The only trouble is, it's just touching the EMA, and I'm not a fan. I prefer the body to get there, and it's a 15 bar risk. Tick above, tick below. So when you've had a good start to the day, what I definitely don't want to do is give any of my money back. So I'll try and be a little bit more choosy if I can. I think it's likely going to come down regardless of whatever happens here, but that is possibly there, maybe there. So I look something like that. It's supposed to be, there's the push, isn't it? Yeah, so it should be there. So that's where I'm thinking this second leg's going to go. There was a setup there, but I just have a rule of not taking them unless it's the body's a lot closer. Because if you wait for the body to get close, you can almost guarantee those trades, whereas these, maybe 60-70%. Excuse me a minute, I'm just going to nip to the bathroom quickly. There we go. All right, let's have a look. See what I mean about that. I like him a bit closer, really. I'm not saying it's not going to come down. It probably is, but see what I mean about that trade there. See how nicely it tucks underneath. It's sort of gone up as far as it can, hasn't it? Pulls back down, finishes on its low. For me, that's a no-brainer, that. As long as the context is right. See me also be twitching now, being in that trade. I did look at it, it's just risky. Okay, new high trade. Well, if we can get a push up here and maybe something finished, then. Let's have a look. That can break above there. That's a potential failure. I definitely think we're going down. I kind of like the way that's going, but let's just see if it does push above it, because it wants to, really. For me to get involved. Not only does it do that, is it maybe some longs in there then, so if it does push up and then come down, as it comes down and breaks below here into the stops, that'll give it a bit more momentum, but yeah, kind of, yeah, jack out. So it mentions the 10,000 tick chart. We've had this push up, we've had a break new high, try to go once. It's looking to me like it's coming down. Now it's triggered that now, so let's see what happens. Market's got other minds. So, okay, yeah, it's getting a bit choppy now, isn't it? See, I'm gonna get rid of that a minute, and that. I don't know. Could be that, might not be. Doesn't look too bad, but kind of hoping this finishes crap, because it's a big old bar, that is, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think it's going to touch down here, is it? Yeah, I'm kind of glad that's like that, but yeah, it's just hard to tell now, isn't it? So we've had this. See if it holds there. Let's just have a quick zoom out. Big push down, break new low, push up, break new high, push back into this ranger. So there's nowhere else I can adjust that, really. That just won't work, will it? I don't think. Will it? Well, maybe it does. In which case, I mean, if that is right, it's probably going to continue to come down, and then maybe when it gets a bit lower, then it might just... if there's a bigger uptrend to the left, still need a new high for the break of it. Bigger uptrend to the left. I'm certainly getting the impression of downwards, just the way we've had this big push down and then sort of a little bit of a correction and a push up, a little bit of a correction, and slowly starting to work down so far, but that is also sort of a range area as well, so just got to keep that in mind. Sometimes you can have these pushes down and then sideways and then another push down. So I tend to like the fact that's going to push down sideways and it's going to push down. So if it can get... So like, what I don't want to do is do anything stupid now. I've got myself a nice start to the week. I don't want to go giving any of it back. And sometimes I'll stop at 3 trades, but that's what I used to do. But as long as my patience is okay, and I'm confident and happy sitting here, there's no reason why I can't. So there is a possible second entry short there. See how this finishes. Because if that finishes right, it's at the top of this range, and it's also at the, if this is a downtrend, it's at the top of that as well. So let's see. It's banging its head on 385. Yeah, it is. I think I'm going to get rid of that just for a minute. So we've had that, haven't we? We seem to have had a break. I think I'm just waffling now. I love that we had indecision in the comments when it rates as well. But that's it, isn't it? It's really an even balance of buyers and sellers, isn't it? Some thinking we're going up, some thinking we're coming down. So really, it could be 50-50, couldn't it? And you certainly wouldn't, 50-50s, then you're talking on the lines of gambling then, aren't you? So it's good to stay out, isn't it? But let's see what happens if we push. So we've had this touch here, haven't we? We've had this touch here. See what happens if we get a touch here. Whether we go out, come back, or whether we bounce off here. It's a bit risky, isn't it? I'm just going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to just go and make myself a cup of tea, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Us Brits can't function without RT. And now I'm fully loaded. Right, let's have a look. Just getting a bit choppy, isn't it? I'd say we are coming down. See what happens here. I can't see any type of another trend really. That's a possibility. Okay, so there is a possible trade here. The only trouble is we've had a break out of it. We've come back in. So if you take a trade there, it's going to be close to the bottom. So it's hard to say, that is. Now, as I've done so well today, I'm going to leave that alone, and I kind of hoping it finishes crap. Let's have a look at what I missed. Do we ever trade the London session? Sod that, I got to get up early. No. I don't think there's as much volume, is there? You're talking about the FTSE or something like that? I don't think there's as much volume. Part of the reason I like the ES is because there's plenty of volume, and I like the fact that it worked in with my working hours when I started, because I worked till about 5 o'clock and I got home soon after, so I could trade for a few hours. So it's just how it worked for me. But no, I've never looked into any sort of London timing trading. Okay, so Reap, where are you from, bud? You're a new face. Where are you from? I always like to know where people are from. What are we doing here? It's getting a little bit stagnant, isn't it? Let's have a look. Techno King. Are you in the States here, Midwest? Oh, I got you. You're not copping all that bad weather, are you, at the moment? It's been horrific, isn't it? Minus 50 in parts. I mean, that's serious life-threatening, that is. Yeah, that's part of the reason I like the fact that it starts at 2:30. I mean, what a way to earn a living, working from 2:30 till dinner time, till lunch, tea time, and you're done. I suppose our average time is about, what, 3.5 hours, something like that? God, how many people work 3.5 hours a day for a living? It's like the perfect job, isn't it? So look, what else we got? Double traps galore. Techno King, what did you say? 3871. 3871. We're coming up here somewhere, are we? Midline. It does seem to like the midline, doesn't it? It often plays a part. We had a little bit of sideways there, didn't we? And bumped up and touched it, broke above it there, came down and closed below it. So, excuse me a second. Sorry about that, another coughing fit. I try to switch the mic off now before it comes out. I deafen everybody. Okay. Yeah, we may not get our measured move. I think we will. I think we've come up. We've gone on this level, and we've dropped a level, so we seem to be still working our way down as in some sort of a fashion. Yeah, if I look at the daily, it does give me the impression that we've pushed down, we've come back up, trying to go once, trying to go twice. If this can go bearish, then I think we're coming down again, quite sharpish. I mean, these are all guesstimates, but, you know, if you come up here and someone asks you where you like to go, I mean, based on what we've seen there, you'd think down. So it's best guess, really, isn't it? But that's the information we've got to do. We've had a push down, we've had a pull back, we've had a pull back break, new low, trying to go once, trying to go twice. If that keeps going down some more, then I think maybe tomorrow we might have another good push down. Which is sad for anybody who holds shares. I've got a little bit of shares in the S, not a lot. It's just with a pension from a company. And I probably won't see that for a few years anyway. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think you trade it, Brant's saying about the hours. You can trade it 23 hours a day if you want. But I've tried trading it at night, and I've got to say, like I mentioned earlier about day trading, that I kind of like the way the speed the market moves during the market open hours, which is what sort of stimulates me a bit, and it sort of works with me. I have looked into it late in the evening, but to be fair, unless you're sort of quite a calm, methodical person, I think you'd struggle with the patient side of it, because things do move a lot slower. And I think, if I remember rightly, the bars can be a lot bigger as well. The ATR can climb a little bit. But it's no different than trading maybe a 30-minute chart or a 15-minute chart. You know, that trades. So, you know, it's tradable. Some people don't have the ability to trade the New York Open. Yeah, it's tough for a lot of you guys in the US, isn't it? Because that's your sort of working hours, really, isn't it? 9:30. What are you? Sort of 9:30, 8:37. I think you're between 6:30 and 9:30 from one side of the country to the other. So it's your early day, really, isn't it? So, you know, sometimes, you know, normal mainstream jobs can get in the way. That's where I was a bit lucky. You know, I'd be home 5:15 in my day job, and the market will have only been open, you know, sort of 2 3/4 hours. So I still had a few hours to trade if I wanted to. So it enabled me to, you know, get a few hours screen time every day. So I was quite lucky that way. Reap your trading order flow. I have a trader buddy, Marlon, who uses some order flow, and he said it helps him make better decisions. I've not tried it myself. I've seen it done, but I know it gives you sort of a glimpse of the order book. And if you're thinking short here, you can have a look at the order book and see how many other trades are in the wings waiting to be triggered. So I suppose it can. I think the only thing is that you might be flicking from, you know, trouble is when you're looking on a trade, you know, a trade in most cases won't turn into a good trade until the last few seconds. So you've got to make a quick decision. So sometimes glancing onto figures on an order flow sheet may be distracting to some people, but some people swear by it. I mean, some people, if you look at the Canadian futures trade, that's all he uses is order flow. Doesn't use a chart like this. So, and I've heard some people say, oh, all professional traders use order flow and that, but you can't use charts like this. Well, you clearly can. I've been trading for the last 17 days in a row and on green, so you clearly can. You can't accidentally have green days for 17 days in a row if you didn't know what you were doing to a certain degree. There is an Asian guy that's part of the reason why I ended up paying for YouTube. He keeps popping up constantly he's a British Asian guy, and he talks about order flow and you can't trade like this. He's the only trader that shows his trades. I don't know. I know he's annoying. That's why I ended up paying for YouTube in the end, because he keeps popping up every 5 minutes and I end up tearing my hair out. You keep saying you can't trade on charts like this, you have to use order flow. Load of rubbish. In fact, what I'm going to do is remove that and enlarge that, because I think that's probably more on the lines of what we're doing. Let's have a look. Somewhere about there. Okay. So look, I gave up on the order book. I'm in about too fast, and it seems better with that. Yeah, Jamie. You're right, Jamie. You're a new fella. Where are you from, bud? I'd like to know where people are from. Welcome. But yeah, I agree. Things move quick. When you're watching a setup, you've got to keep your eye on the bar, haven't you? And you've got to make a quick decision. You're hovering over there with your order. For me, I think glancing over to another screen is it is a bit distracting. I'd say that for me, yeah. I was going to say order book moves fast. Yeah, it does. Trouble is, you're looking at a bunch of figures, aren't you? So you've got to make sure you look at the correct figures. So, yeah, I hear people trade this chart and people use order book. I think you're better off, personally, in my opinion, not trading one or the other. But I've never done it, so I can't give you an honest opinion. So it's probably wrong of me to say that. Michigan, tons of snow. Are you having that bad weather, are you, bud? I have heard word of minus 50 in places. You make sure you keep your jacket on and your gloves on. I think minus 18 is the worst I can remember in this country. But minus 50, that's shocking, that is. That's proper Arctic conditions, that. I know when I was seeing pictures of it on the news yesterday, it almost looked like a glimpse of what was that film with Jake Gyllenhaal in? It almost glimpses of that film. It's horrendous. I don't use Jigsaw. I do only use pattern trading systems with order flow. Yeah, I mean, if it works for you, do it. Everyone's different. What's good for one isn't good for another. So I know a trader buddy of mine I chat to a lot, Marlon, and I know he uses it, and it works for him. So if it works for you, use it. Doesn't matter what anybody else says. If you get value out of it. Not quite that cold. We got a few feet over Christmas. I don't mind a sprinkling of snow. I think it looks quite nice, doesn't it? Sometimes when you go out and it's all, even at night, everything's brighter and you get that nice crisp crunch under your foot. It's kind of nice, isn't it, at Christmas? But the trouble is when it melts, it's everywhere, isn't it? I know I've been driving down the road. I am, a week after it's melted, and you're still using your window wipers and your spray bottle in there every 5 seconds to keep your window clean. Just constantly kicking up muck, isn't it? Reap volumetric. I've not heard that one. I've heard of what's the other one? There is a company that Marlon mentioned it to me. I think it's about $30 a month. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. I think you can. Yeah, I mean, you can get what's it called in this? What's it called? You can get I believe you can get a certain amount of order flow in NinjaTrader in the form of, I forget what it's called now. Someone will tell me. You get a few columns of it, don't you? And that gives you a little bit of the order book. I forget what it's called. Okay, so we are getting still this sideways movement, aren't we? Yeah, see, I'm still expecting a push down. We've had this push down, we've come up, and we seem to be pretty much holding at the midline stroke open. Using delta, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what Marlon usually has delta with, or it's called delta or something, I can't remember now. But yeah, we seem to be holding under the midline. And where we opened. So I think it's likely, at the moment, I'm a bit on the fence. I mean, my overall is biased for the time being until I see something else. Costs $350. Yeah, trouble is, I know the one that I think Marlon uses, you get a free period of about 2 weeks or something, but unless someone explains to you how it works, I sort of get how it works, but you need a little bit of advice on how to properly read it, otherwise you don't get value from it. But the way I see things, if something isn't broken, don't fix it. You know, if it's working for me, there's no point in adding. Because I know when I used to follow Andrew Lockwood, he said the less you could, you know, some of these traders use so many different, indicators. His thoughts is that less is better. The few you have, the better, and they don't come much cleaner than these charts, really, do they? They're pretty. There's not a lot to them, really. The only indicator we really use is the EMA, and then it's just trend channels and range channels. Really, there's not a lot else we use, and I kind of like the simplicity of it. I know when I was trading currency, they were using all sorts of different indicators. Movement and convergence, divergence levels, Fibonacci retracements, all sort of manner of stuff they were using, and it just gets a bit too technical, and I think I like to keep things simple, which is why I like Pat's. I love the way it is simple. I know if sometimes I've had a browse at the sniper system that Apex do, and that looks complicated to hell, I gotta say. I'm going to say, I think Daryl Martin himself, I think, designed that. So he's a clever guy, I've got to say. To make something like that and make it work, you've got to be, pretty clued up. So I think I'll be trading, is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday. I'll be trading Wednesday and Thursday this week. I'm working Friday and Monday, and then from next Tuesday. But once I can get that up another $2,300, I'll be then thinking about taking a withdrawal of $2,000. So whether that happens before, I think the last day is the 5th, between the 1st and 5th. Unless that happens before, then it'll be towards the end of the month. And it is what it is. If it happens before, great. Then I'll be able to go down. Then I'll be able to trade 5 days a week. But if it goes to the end of the month, it is. I'm not going to rush or try and force trades, get myself into trouble. But I'm 2,300 away, which I would have said is somewhere in the region based on what I've done another 5 days. So it may be before, it may not be, but when I do the withdrawal, I'll show you all the process of what I do, because it's more my first experience as well. Let's have a look. If you can trade the sniper system, kudos to you. Yeah, I understand it, but it's just too many things on your chart. It gives me a headache. I know what you mean. It's just full of numbers, isn't it? And little blibs and blobs. I don't even know what they are. but they've almost automated the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, if it works, I believe, from people I've spoken to about it, it works well. But it's all about what you learn. My thoughts are, find something that works and stick to it. And I've got 100% confidence in Mac's system. I've been following it now for a little over a year and a half, and I've never doubted it. Setups are just, you can say riskier setup, but just setups like those, and the ones I showed the other day, that one where it came out, they just don't fail. And to have so much confidence in setups in a trading system, for me, is just mind-blowing. I've got 100% confidence in it. So for me, I'm not even going to look at trading anything else. I just want to, just master this, or just spend every bit of time and focus on this one system. And I think if you do that, you'll just get better and better at it. Jamie, I used to bookmap for a while. It's helpful for little long plays, yeah. But I'm with you. I like it simple. Yeah, it is. Plus I'm jumping in and out of 5 and 10 points on the NAS. Yeah, I've never traded anything else. Never traded the NAS before. Some price action works my style. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for price action. Some of these, you see some of these professional traders, pictures or videos online, their just screens seem to be a mass with different bits of, different charts and different different indicators and all this, and it does seem complicated, doesn't it? And the more complicated something is, the more chance I think you've got of slipping up. I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing, they obviously do, but it's all about what you learn, isn't it? What you're taught, and this is just the first thing really that I was taught really after the bit of currency. So although, I think that Shalon Winter, I've watched him trade a couple of times just out of curiosity, but I wouldn't consider changing what I've learned so far. I've invested too much time into it, and as far as I'm concerned, it's second to none. It's a brilliant system. It's a very simple system, although it takes time to learn, but I love the simplicity of it, and I'd never swap and change. Getting too old for that now anyway. So, okay. Does seem to be going a bit choppy, I think, doesn't it now? Definitely sort of following that midline, isn't it? Above it, below it, above it, below it. Keeps bouncing off it, doesn't it? Bouncing off it, pushes through it. Bouncing off it, pushes through it, bounces off it. DZT, second setting. Not sure where you are with that one, brother. I understand there is no out-of-the-box profitable system for sale. I understand there is no out-of-the-box. Well, if you say out-of-the-box by sort of plug and play, not really. I mean, you've got to learn. I remember when I started, I didn't even know what one of these did. It's just like a bar, isn't it? What does it do? What does it tell you? But it gives you tend to forget what you learn. The information it gives you tells it, where it opened, where it closes, where its high was, where its low was, what type of a bar is it? Is it more bearish? Is it more bullish? We're reading all these little bits of information without even thinking about it. But at one point in time, I didn't have a clue what these were. So yeah, all these systems require lots of trial and error, lots of practice. And then what I think I've got most of all out of trading now, the more I do it, is a feel for the way I think things are going. Obviously, it helps if I look at the daily and the 10,000. That gives me an indication of where it might go, which helps me make better choices. But you do get a feel for trades, don't you? Sometimes where you get stuck in trades or you get trapped. Once you've been in that area before, you get an understanding for where to stay out, and all that comes with time, doesn't it? I don't think you ever stop learning, and the more you do it, you'll just keep improving and getting better and better. And then hopefully we'll all be stinking rich, sitting on an island somewhere. May even buy my own island. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? No, I'd just like to get to a place where I've got a chunk of money in the bank and I can just go, let's book a holiday. You know, Christmas comes around, I haven't got to worry about, oh, we'll put this aside, nice to just have that peace of mind. Just that you don't have to worry, you know, go through life not having to worry about money. And that's all I want. Just a better life for me family. A little bit of savings I can leave for my daughter when I'm gone. Yeah, I looked into that boot camp actually, just out of curiosity. Fairly easy to understand. It's just a ton of lines on the main chart. Yeah, I've watched him. He's a nice chap. But I'd spent so much time doing this that I couldn't. Just out of curiosity, I looked at it. Yeah, it's just ranging there, isn't it? For what time did it go? 3:20, 4, 2 hours. It's been going sideways. You know, I think I'm going to knock it on the head actually. What time is it? 5. So we've been going about 2 hours 40 minutes. We've had a good solid day. 3 nice trades, and it's just going sideways in it. I think the volume is going to slowly. So I'm going to knock it on there. So I appreciate everybody hooking up. Hope everyone's had a good Christmas. We got New Year next week. Or at the weekend, isn't it? So you're probably going out and having a good night out. I don't tend to go out now New Year. I just spend New Year's Day then with a banging headache. And I've learnt the hard way. So that's it for today. Back here again tomorrow. 2:30, just before 2:30, I think. So if you're carrying on trading, good luck. And have a great evening. And I will chat to all you guys tomorrow.